Hey, what's up? Rob here again, and in this video I want to give you a ClickFunnels 2.0 demo of the style guide feature inside the new ClickFunnels 2.0 builder. So let's jump in and take a look. Okay, so we're inside the ClickFunnels 2.0 page builder, and one thing I want to show you, I just want to give you a quick tutorial on how to use the style guide feature. Not a lot of people know that it's there, and it can save you a lot of time if you want to make some changes to your, bring in a template, make some changes quickly, and have them apply across the board. This is the way you want to do it. So I've just imported this template. This is one of the standard templates. So if I want to, for example, we want to change this text. Now, when you go on the settings cog, it comes up with this on the right hand side, the various settings. You'll see under typography here, you've got your various styles. You've got small, medium, large, extra large. Now, if you click on Edit Style here, it will bring up a new window, and this will give you your font styles. So you can see here the extra large. Which was, this refers to, if I click this, close this again, this refers to this here. If I want to change this text, you have to click on large, medium, small. That refers to those there. So if I go back into edit style, extra large is this one we're seeing up here. Large is this one, medium is this one, and small is this one. And what I can do is I can choose to change the base font size, which will change everything across the board universally, or I can go in, I can change the font. So say if we didn't want to use this font, so you've got these various different options. You've got headline, which is the main part here. You've got subheadline, which is obviously underneath the headline. And then you've got your content, which is your regular text. And then you've got those in these different formats: extra large, large, medium, and small. So if I wanted to go in and change the headline text, and I just wanted to change if I thought the headline was too large, I could just bring down the extra large just a small amount to whatever I think is a good size, and then I can go back to fonts and I can click update. And then when I go back to my page, that will have brought this size down now. So I can still go back to the large and the extra large, but you can see there's not as much difference between them. But you can go even further than that. If I choose that for the headline, I don't want that font at all. Let's take the size back up so that it's something that's nice and big. And I want to change the actual font itself. I click on the font name, and I can choose up here. I can put custom fonts in, or I can choose a sans serif font, serif fonts, display fonts, handwriting, or monospace. So let's go for a handwriting font, and let's say I wanted something like this, maybe a bit harsh, but this permanent marker. If I click on that, and then I think, oh, that's a little bit too big, I'm just going to bring that down, and I'm going to bring that one down as well on the large, and I'm going to bring it down on the medium, and I'll bring the small one down. So I bring them all down a little bit, and I go back to fonts, click update, and then I can come out of that, and now you can see across the board this font has changed. Wherever that font was being used previously, my headline font is now changed to that permanent marker font, and it's done it across the board because it's the style guide applies to all of your to the whole design basically. So it's a really quick and easy way, instead of having to go and click and change the font here and then click and change the font here, and so on and so forth. It's a much quicker and easier way of doing it. But again, you can go even further with this. So let's go back into the style guide. Once you're in the style guide, if you click up here where it says back to style guide, so that was all inside fonts. Okay, so you can do with the mobile sizes, by the way, you can ask ClickFunnels 2.0 to actually scale and handle the font sizes for you for smaller screens. It does a really good job of that, by the way. If you want more control, you can switch this off, and then it gives you this base font size, and it shows you that you can toggle between mobile and desktop here, and then you get the full control over them as well. You can then choose whether you want to take them down, bring them up, and so on, exactly the same as you would for the desktop. But I would recommend just keeping this on and let it handle it for you. It's generally the best way to do it. But if there's something specific you want, you can go in and adjust it if you wish. Right, back inside the style guide, you can see we've got all of these options. So that was just fonts. You've also got colors, shadow, border, buttons, and corners. So if we go into colors, this is the color scheme of this whole style. So if I go back to desktop, you can see we've got you've got the dark color up here. You've got this blue. You've got this blue in here. You've got blue boxes. You've got grey boxes. And this is the dark box here, which is this up here. So if I go up and change one of these colors, say if I wanted this to be a lighter grey, you can see it's changing it here. This is this text. If I want to go and change this blue to be, let's say, I want it to be a sort of a greeny color, and maybe even a bit darker. let's do something like over here. I can do that, and it changes it. If I want to change this blue, so I have a green as well, you can see it's done that there, and you can see this one here, it's in blue. If I wanted to take that to being perhaps a dark red or something, you can see it makes the change across the board quite easily. It's obviously not the most pleasant of colour schemes, but it gives you the idea. You can see exactly what you can change and how it affects it across the board. And obviously, once you've done that, if you update that, and then you come out and you can see in your page, it's now changed those colours here throughout the page without me having to go and do them all individually, which is quite handy. So let's go back into there. So that was colours. So like I say, you can completely go in and you can do what you like with those, really. It's quite straightforward. Once you play around with it, you just need to figure out which bits what they're actually affecting, so that you get the hang of actually adjusting them and you know what you're adjusting. But you can see them on the screen here as you do it. You can also you can do auto generate, so that it will try and come up with something for you. You can choose your lightest background, light background, color background, dark background, and the darkest background. So you've got complete control over all of those things as well. Now, if we go back to the style guide, the next thing we've got is shadows. So you've got 3 styles here again. You can choose how they work. So shadow style 1, 2, and 3. You can change the color of the shadows. You can choose how far out they come. So you can see as I move that out, it's going out to the X to the right. That's horizontal, and then vertical there. So you can see that. You can see how you can change how dark or light it is. You can change the amount of blur. You can change the spread, so how far it actually comes out away from the edge. You've got complete control over it there, and you've got your 3 different styles as well. So you can choose, you've got style 1, style 2, style 3. You can adjust them in here, and then when you're in your builder, you just select which, style 1, 2, or 3, and you pick the one you actually want to use. Let's go back to in here and go to borders. So this is when you're using borders. Again, you've got 3 styles. So you can see border style 1 is a very faint one. You can see if I bring this up, it's actually, you can change the thickness of the border. It's on 1 pixel at the moment. You can have a dotted line. If I make that a bit bigger, you'll see it. And you can have a dashed line, I should say, and a dotted line. You can choose the color of the lines. Again, style 2, I can come in and change that. And this is loaded with the colors from your theme that we picked in the color section. And let's say that one we want to have this darker color, but we want it in dots. And then when you go in your builder and you pick border style 1, 2, or 3, it will pull those up from here. The next one is buttons. This is fairly obvious, but obviously you've got your different styles of buttons. If you choose style 1, 2, or 3, this is where it pulls the settings from. So you can actually go in and edit them. You see, this is the green one. This is the blue one down here. So let's say this one here, you can see as I hover over it, there's like a little shadow on there. You can control all of that stuff. You can also control the text, the font itself on the button. So let's say I'm just going to do this because it's going to make it obvious that I've changed it. You see there. You've also got the weight of it, if it's a font that allows you to use different weights. So let's say we've got this one that's got bold. You can choose that, or you can choose light. You can change the size of the font on the button. You can separate for the mobile. If you want the mobile device to have a different size font, you can unlink it here, and then you can change that independently. So then that will show you it on how it will look on the mobile, or you can keep it linked. You can change your letter spacing, so that's the distance between letters. You can change the line height, so that's the distance between lines of text. Obviously, font color, you can change all of that as well. Whether it's uppercase, lowercase, title case, whichever way you want to do it. You've got underline, you've got strike through. You can put a shadow on the text as well if you wish, like that. And you've got control over how far the shadow comes out, how blurred it is. You can change the subtext under here. So say you wanted to have that in a different weight, you can change the size of it. So you can see here, if I make that bigger, so the subtext size is changing. You can change the size on the mobile of the subtext. And again, all of the same settings that you have there. You can also have a shadow on the subtext as well if you want. Let's make it dark so you can see it. There we go. So much control you've got in here. You've even got the borders of the buttons as well. So if you wanted a dotted line border and a little bit bigger, you can see that's done that because I'm editing style 2. If I wanted to edit style 1, I can come down here and say I wanted it to have a border on there. I can then bring that up if I choose. I know it looks horrible, but in this example, just showing you what you can do. You can choose to have the rounded corners like that. So you can choose if you wanted a rounded button. Let's get rid of the border, and you might choose that you wanted to have a completely rounded button. You can bring this up. It will only go so far based on the height of the button. Or you can have just rounded corners very slightly here. You can even just you can type in here as well, I believe, which I think will just let you do that. There you go. So you can control it right down to the smallest amount, whatever you want to put in there. It will do it for you, or you can just use the slider, whichever way you prefer. You can also choose, this is a really cool feature. Most of the time you'd need to use coding for this, but you can click separate edges enabled, and that will let you choose whether for instance, if I didn't want this top left corner to have a radius to it, I can take that off. I could also do that to the bottom right, and you can get the different, odd shaped buttons if you want to. You can really control, if you've got something that you want to fit to a certain style, or maybe a logo or something, you can choose that. You can even create shadows. You can choose how far they spread, where they offset to the right and to the bottom. You can obviously completely control it with these sliders, how far you want it to go, how blurred you want it to be, what color you want it to be, so on and so forth. So really easy to do. Let's go back to the style guide again. You've also got then your corners. So you've got corner style 1, corner style 2, and corner style 3. So this one you can see corner style 1 is a very, a very sort of tight corner. Corner style 2 is more open, and corner style 3 is even more open. We can even open that more if you wanted to. And then wherever these styles are used throughout your design, once you click on these in here, they'll affect what you're doing in the actual builder. So, for example, if we went into let's say this button here, if we go into this, we can choose which button style we wanted. And if you remember the buttons that we created, you can override things in here as well. If you don't want it to come, if you've got something from the style guide and you don't want it to take the button you've styled in the style guide, it's probably the best way to explain it. You can actually override it here, and you can do something yourself for that specific instance. So if you had it like this, it's over the top of an image, and if your button styles don't match or don't work for that image, instead of having to go back into the style guide, you can come in and actually override that and make a one-off setting. But all of this stuff is based on saving you time. So if you can, the best way to use it, in my experience, is to try and think about what you want to do with your design. Overall, think about the colors, think about the font sizes and the fonts and that kind of thing, and use them. Try and get the structure right from the start, and then as you're building, you can just click your various style in here, and it will just automatically pull it in from the style guide, and it will save you loads of time. Like I say, you don't have to go and click and change a font, click and change another font. It will do it all for you. So yeah, I mean, that was a really brief and quite a quick run through of the style guide. But as I said, a lot of people don't know that it's there in ClickFunnels 2.0. So it's definitely worth checking out and having a little play around with it. You can't really break anything, so don't be afraid. Go in and have a look. It will save you an absolute ton of time when you're building your pages and funnels. So I hope you found that useful. If you haven't yet tried ClickFunnels 2.0, you can still get a free 30-day trial with the link down below, and it's in the description and the pinned comments. And I've also got a bonus in there as well, which will help you to get free, no-cost traffic to your whether it's your product, your service, or an affiliate product, anything like that. So go and check that out in the description and the pinned comment. And if you found this video useful, please give it a like. I really appreciate it if you can do that. And also subscribe, and don't forget to hit the bell so you get notified when I release new videos. Doing all that stuff helps me get my videos in front of more people like yourself who hopefully find them useful. So thanks for watching, and until next time, take care.